Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dice Odyssey. I'm Kaz, and today we're going to be giving you a review of this Thieves Hoard by Brass Engine Games. Outbid, outsmart, out-thief. Let's get into it. In Thieves Hoard, you're pretty much a bunch of thieves trying to break into a museum, take as many artifacts as you can, and get away before the Pinkertons get on your trail. Right? Basically the detectives and the police and what have you. It's pretty much a very simple card game with bidding, thieving, and a lot of take that. I'm going to give you a quick overview of how it's played, and then I'm going to get back to my final thoughts. All right, I'm going to show you just a quick overview of how to play Thieves Hoard. I'm not going to necessarily hit every single rule in the game, but it's a fairly simple game, so it's easy to pick up. Now, I've got the game generally set up about how you're going to start your turn off. I'll let you know what everything does. You've got your prestige cards, which are basically your money. Okay, think of them like your money, and you're spending them to get things and do things and bid for things. I've got my thief cards, which allows me to do different kinds of powers, which we'll go into it here in a minute. I've got a relic card, an artifact card, and we'll get to that in a second. I got a player card, which pretty much tells me everything that goes on in the game, what I do, actions, things like that. Now, there are a number of aliases that you can use in the game that will allow you to have special powers. For example, you got this guy here, Phase 5. Thief cards cost 1 less prestige to buy when you are the lead thief. You've got this one, Phase 3. Gain 1 less heat when stealing from the museum. Phase 1, gain 2 bonus prestige in Phase 1. If your hoard has 5,000 plus, gain 4 bonus prestige. Phase 3, when you draw instead of bid, you may reduce your heat by 1. And if you so on and so forth. There's a ton of them in the game. The one we're going to be using right now, just for placeholder purposes. Now, if you look here, you've got a heat card. And see, the more heat that you take, the worse it gets until finally you are arrested by the Pinkertons, and then you have to pay them off if you have any prestige left to keep from losing things, or you're going to lose everything if you can't pay them off. Your general goal is to get $10,000 to win the game, okay? First thief to do that. And basically, you're trying to get these artifact cards which equal up to $10,000 over time. Like, for example, this one's $2,000 right there. So you're already a portion of the way there. You only need $8,000 more. But this also nets you 3 prestige every time Phase 1 comes around. But this also adds 2 to your heat score on this part right here. So every artifact you get, this is going to increase your heat score. But just to give you an idea of different things you can get in the game, you could draw this. Pinkertons, it was a setup. All thieves must discard 5 prestige or gain 5 heat. Draw a new museum card after this is resolved. Because you're drawing blind, right? So you don't know if you're going to grab this or not. But you can also draw the Mask of Anubis. See, some of them are more valuable than others. This also nets you 5 prestige, meaning money, right? But it also gives you 3 heat. Also, your action cards that come up are called your thief cards, and this allows you to do several different types of things. For example, you could do a rat 'em out card. Target a thief, then they add 2 to their heat score, so you could really hurt somebody if they're already high on heat. This is a secret stash card. You can attach this to an artifact. This artifact cannot be stolen or confiscated. Okay, so for example, you can just attach that there if you wanted to, and now if somebody wanted to steal it, they can't. This card, it's a fake. Target 1 artifact in an opponent's hoard and discard it. That's a main card. Cunning, add 1 to the steal value of thief's card before or after cards have been drawn and revealed. May be played on stealing thief or defending thief. That's when you have a thief battle, basically. Forged certificates. You can steal an attachment. Steal an attachment from another player's artifact and attach it to one of your own. You cannot steal a secret stash. Another card that could come up, this would be an attachment card. This adds $1,000 and 2 prestige to any artifact that you have in your possession. So for example, if I put it there, that's going to add value to what I've already got and get me closer to my final goal. Now, if you wanted to steal that attachment, you could steal that one. You just can't steal a secret stash specifically. Now, just to give you an idea of what a typical round might look like. First off, you're going to determine somebody's going to be the lead thief. Let's just pretend it's us, okay? First phase, everybody's going to gain prestige. In this case, I'll be able to gain 3, right? So now the lead thief's going to flip over a museum artifact, right? You're casing the joint, so to speak. So right here we got Vampire's Teeth. It's worth 2,000 bucks, 3 prestige, 2 heat. Now what you're going to do is put that out there in the bidding area. All the players must declare whether or not they're going to steal this, meaning they're going to enter a bid of prestige, right? You just basically choose how much prestige you want to take. You keep it kind of secret, you know, from everybody else. And then when the time comes, everybody's going to flip and they get to choose whether or not they bid. So, but they all have to choose before the bidding begins whether or not they're going to steal it, put a bid down, or they're going to draw a thief card, which would be this, okay? And so let's pretend for the sake of argument, we went ahead and flipped and everybody did it automatically. Other people were bidding, you know, 1s and 2s, and I decided to bid a 3, okay? I bid 3 prestige. I win it, okay? That goes into the market here. I win it. That goes into my collection, all right? Now that gets added to my other relic card or my artifact, and now I add 2 heat to my alias, okay? So I'm getting closer to getting arrested. Now let's say there was actually a tie on that. Now you enter into something called a thieving battle. To start, you're going to draw a card, and then you're going to look at the thieving value right here at the bottom right, and that's a 3, for example. So I drew this card. Another player that I tied with drew this card. Uh-oh, they've got a 4. They win that thieving battle. You're just comparing. That's all you're doing, okay? And at that point, if that was the case, they would go ahead and win this artifact. Now, the next phase would be a little bit of a different type of thieving battle. Lead thief may target one opponent to steal from. So, for example, if an opponent has a card that you want, like an artifact, say you wanted to steal this, if you're the lead thief, you would then spend prestige equal to the amount that it requires on the card. So in this case, I'd have to spend 3 if I wanted to steal it. And then it's kind of like my bid to enter into a thieving battle with that person. And after that's been resolved, the lead thief can then go ahead and purchase thief cards with their prestige if they want to. Now, I can buy up to 3, but each thief card is going to cost me 3 prestige to buy. Okay, so that'll add to my thief hand. Now, at the end of the round, this card is passed to the left. A new person becomes the lead thief. If somebody has reached $10,000 by the time this is passed, they win the game. Now, remember, at any point in time that you want to, you can continue to play thief cards as many times as you want, off your turn, on your turn. It does not matter, as long as a card does not say you cannot play given certain circumstances, okay? Now, in general, that's pretty much how you're going to play. First person to reach $10,000 wins the game. Let me get back to my final thoughts.
'Cause that's the bottom line.
Wow, I can't believe this game's flying under the radar. It's actually a very fun card game. I mean, now, this is going to come down to whether or not you're a big fan of take that games with some bidding and things like that in them. Let's get into production quality. Production quality is decent. The cards are nice. I will say that the artwork is a bit muted for my taste, but it kind of fits the period, so to speak. You know, it kind of fits the theme in some respects with that muted style to it, from character cards to relic cards and artifacts and things of that nature. It's decent. I do wish it popped a little bit more, I'll be honest with you. This is not a game I'm going to walk up on someone and go, "Ooh, that's beautiful. Let me sit down and play that." It is, tell me about this game so I can understand if I like it or not, right? So in that sense, you know, again, I know art is subjective, but I wasn't a massive fan of it, but it didn't detract me either. It was serviceable art, right? You know, you look at some games and you look at like the box art and you look at, you know, what's going on the inside, and some games draw you to them quicker and this, that, and the other. Thieves Hoard, I was not highly looking forward to sitting down with and playing. I won't lie about that. The artwork wasn't doing it any favors in my book, and there were other people at the table kind of felt the same way. But once we started playing, all those preconceptions flew out the window. This is one of those cases where it's good to not judge a book by its cover, okay? Not judge a box by its cover, because I'm sorry, it doesn't draw me into it. You know what I mean? The game itself is just cutthroat to the core. You basically have your artifacts out there and you're bidding on them, and you can decide whether or not you want to bid on it, right? But if you bid on it, y'all are fighting it out with prestige. Then you have a ton of cards in the game that are basically action cards that allow you to screw everybody else over at the table and to guard yourself if necessary. That's the thing that I really liked about this game more than anything else, was the ability to kind of wheel and deal with the cards. You know, I can play them almost anytime I want to. I also like the idea that depending on the artifact that you get more heat added to your character. So I mean, once you get a certain amount of heat, you got to be careful because the Pinkertons will come and arrest you, right? One of my favorite games of all time is Family Business, Mafia card game where you're basically putting hits on each other and trying to take each other's family members out, put them on the hit list and wipe them out. Be the last man standing, right? This game gave me a lot of that feel. And again, I'm not a massive fan of Take That. It's weird. I have a couple of games that I really like that have a lot of that in it. And Family Business is one of them. This is another. This is a very fun card game. I will say, if I was going to give it any cons, the biggest con I would say is probably player count. And obviously, certain cons will be whether or not you like it or not in terms of Take That. If you don't like Take That at all and you hate it and you spit upon it, this is not the game for you. But I do not like this game at 2. I don't. I feel like it's just, okay, play a card, you play a card. Play a card, you play a card. It's the same thing I don't like about Family Business. Once you wipe everybody else out and you get down to 2 players, if they have a lot of people left on their hit list, or basically a lot of life points left, that 2-player back and forth, all you're waiting for is the right card to come in to screw each other over, and it's just play a card, counter, play a card, counter. And this tends to feel that way. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're definitely bidding different amounts. You still have the bidding, which breaks that up, but the 2-player game just wasn't for us. None of anybody I played it with did not like the 2-player game. But once we got 3 or higher, it became a raucous good time. So it's a fun game overall. Definitely recommend it. For me right now, this is getting a 7.5 out of 10. If you like games like this, do not let this one fly under your radar. It's definitely, if you just want to have a raucous, good, hilarious time, this game made us laugh so hard when we played it, every time. How about you? Do you like these type of little card games that have a lot of bidding in it and Take That? You ever play Family Business, or have you actually gotten around to playing Thieves Hoard? Also, please remember to like and subscribe. It does help the channel out tremendously. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. You have a blessed day, and game away. This video is brought to you by Fallen Dominion Studios. Check out their website at fallendominionstudios.com.